In the ever-dramatic world of social media, a storm was brewing around Kayla Nicole, who was about to learn a harsh lesson about name-dropping in the wrong places. Just moments ago, she was riding high on a wave of public sympathy, being celebrated as the next big thing in the influencer space. But oh, how quickly the tides can turn. The drama intensified when Teyana Taylor entered the picture, and if there's one thing everyone knows about Teyana, it's that when she publicly calls someone out, their social media life is essentially over. Now, she's issued what amounts to a cease and desist order to Kayla. Don't speak her name, don't even breathe it. The backstory here is juicy. After Travis Kelce moved on from Kayla to start his much-publicized relationship with Taylor Swift, Kayla dropped a bombshell. She claimed to have had a relationship with Iman. Initially, public sympathy was on her side, especially as she weathered the storm of Swift's devoted fans, who seemed to conveniently forget Travis's dating history before their idol came into the picture. But here's where things took an interesting turn. Kayla recently appeared on Unapologetically Angel, a podcast hosted by Angel Reese. When asked about the craziest thing she'd ever done in a relationship, Kayla had options. She could have played it safe, shared something about Travis, or even made up something harmless. Instead, she chose chaos. With the calculated precision of a seasoned social media veteran, Kayla knew exactly what kind of fire she was playing with. She deliberately chose to discuss a relationship that predated her time with Travis Kelce, and the way she did it? Pure pettiness.
This is we weren't in the relationship, but this is probably one of my favorite crazy Kayla stories, because I don't have that many. But I'm a Scorpio, and I have that crazy in me, though. You know what I mean? Like, it's back there. So, I was dating a guy.
Okay.
I was dating a guy, and he dumped me through a text message. And he dumped me for this singer/actress who was famous at the time. Dumped me for her. Lied about it for months, then popped out with her, and it became like this public thing, and it was like, oh my God, we love them. Another like celebrity iconic relationship. And of course, little old me, I'm devastated, I'm heartbroken. I had just moved to New York to like be with this person and move in with them. It was a whole thing.
It's not who y'all think.
Yes, you guys will not be able to figure this out. Or maybe they will, who cares, it doesn't matter. So he breaks up with me, dumps me, moves on, and for Halloween that year, I dressed up as her. I dressed up as that lady for Halloween. And not only
Are the pictures out?
They're there somewhere. They're on the internet. And it went viral.
Clock that.
It went viral. It was everywhere. Like,
really?
And that was before like I was even anything on Instagram, which is why it was even funnier, because everybody's like, oh my God, you look so good.
Did he say something?
Yeah, you called me crazy.
What Kayla didn't realize was that the internet is like a relentless detective agency that never sleeps. While she played coy, dropping what she thought was a subtle hint about dressing up as someone's girlfriend for Halloween, she severely underestimated the internet's investigative powers. It didn't take long, in fact, it took barely any time at all, for social media sleuths to start diving deep into the digital archives. Like archaeologists unearthing ancient artifacts, they dug through decade-old photos, and what they found was nothing short of explosive. There it was, a Halloween costume from approximately 10 years ago, and suddenly, the mystery woman's identity wasn't such a mystery anymore. Without anyone needing to spell it out, everybody knew exactly who Kayla had been imitating that Halloween night.
Sorry, but if my man's old girlfriend went through the trouble of dressing like me for Halloween, the smile that would be produced on my face, you would cast me for Joker 3. I'd be smiling for days. For days. I'm a Scorpio sun, also a Leo moon. The smile, oh my God, like you just made my year.
The plot thickens with what appears to be Kayla's attempt at a visual comparison with Teyana Taylor. But here's the reality check everyone needed. Even if you're sculpted like a Greek goddess, you can't stop a cheater from cheating. That's just facts. The irony of the situation? While Kayla and Iman never made their situation public, the math isn't adding up in her favor. Here's where it gets particularly messy. Teyana and Iman's relationship timeline is public knowledge, dating back to 2013. So when Kayla's Halloween photo from 2016 surfaced, it painted quite the picture, and not a flattering one. By then, Teyana and Iman had already been solid for 3 years. Reading between the lines, if Kayla was indeed involved with Iman during this period, she wasn't exactly playing the lead role in his life story, if you catch my drift. In a twist of karmic justice, getting dumped might have been the universe doing Kayla a favor, considering Iman's less-than-stellar reputation. But what's really fascinating is Teyana's response to all this drama. First, she dropped a story with a bunch of emojis that basically translated to, "Is this for real?" Then, like the queen she is, she casually flexed her 2025 project lineup, showing everyone she's too booked and blessed to be bothered. Now, Teyana could have easily ignored the whole situation. It's been her signature move, even during that infamous Amber Rose drama, which, by the way, is a whole other story worth diving into. But something about this particular situation seems different. The tension finally reached its boiling point, and Teyana Taylor, who typically lets her friends do the talking, decided it was time to show exactly why she's not someone to be trifled with. Her appearance in the Shade Room's comments section was nothing short of explosive. And honey, she came with receipts. In a masterfully crafted response that had social media buzzing, Teyana laid it all out. "Everyone gets to play while I move with grace," she started, before unleashing a Sagittarius-style takedown that no one saw coming. The divorce from Iman? Old news? But Kayla's calculated moves? That's what really got under her skin. Teyana meticulously dismantled Kayla's narrative, pointing out the mathematical impossibilities and exposing the strategic nature of her confession. But here's the real kicker. She revealed something that made everyone's jaws drop. She had actually shown love to Kayla's Halloween costume at the time, completely unaware of the shade being thrown. Talk about a plot twist. The most devastating part of Teyana's response was calling out Kayla's apparent hypocrisy. One minute, Kayla was playing the black card in the Taylor Swift situation, and the next, she was attempting to bully another black woman who was legally married to the man who allegedly dumped her. The irony was thick enough to cut with a knife. But Kayla wasn't about to back down. Her response came quick, wrapped in the guise of empowerment, claiming she'd continue sharing her story to help other women avoid similar pitfalls. But the social media streets weren't quite buying this sudden pivot to mentorship.
I got a question because I feel like a lot of us are being willfully obtuse right now, and I'm not sure why. Maybe because we put on our helmet of salvation for Kayla Nicole in the past and we're trying to keep it on, but I just really need to know. Is there a certain time period that needs to go by where you get a pass for being a side chick or in a situationship with somebody's husband? Like, how much time has to go by for that not to be a big deal and for you to be able to talk in public about it as if it's no big deal, or just casually about it, or I don't know, not take it to the grave? How much time needs to go by for that? I need to know, because is it like 10 years, 15 years, and then you can get on podcasts and talk about you were side chicks to married men? Is that okay? And would it be okay if it was your husband and 10 years went by? Would that be okay? And then after that, instead of trying to just like leaving the situation gracefully, you dressed up as that person for Halloween? Is that okay? Now, the dressing up as you know, your side dude or I don't know, secret lover's girl is weird, and that alone, I get why you would bring it up as like the craziest thing you ever done. Like, I'm not saying I can get that a little bit, but knowing that this person was married at the time, I don't know, I just would have took that to the grave personally. But it seems like there's a certain time period that like those type of things can be spoken about for any reason. I just want to know what it is. You guys let me know how long. 10, 15, 20 years. You guys.
Everyone, even people she barely knows, seems to be calling Kayla a loser, insisting that what she's doing isn't the power move she believes it to be. They say she's fooling herself if she thinks this will earn her respect.
I don't think Teyana Taylor even needed to do this. Because if she went through the trouble of dressing up like you for Halloween, she's already a fan. Like, she's already aware of your work. She's already aware of all the things that you're doing. We don't need to know, because we know who you've been. We know, and you can announce things that you're excited about. Her, love that for you, get that check, get that post-divorce money, but you don't have anything to prove. And the bragging rights of her to be talking about Iman, because I was thinking that this is some maybe businessman, someone else that we don't know. Iman, the stingy Iman, the one that's begging Teyana Taylor for money, that couldn't handle her fame and success and her talent. That's the one that we're supposed to be up. That's the one you're upset about. That's the one you're pressed about. Honey, you can keep him. Like, surely this is one of those guys that you never want to admit that you ever dated because of how they're acting. Like, real. I get why Teyana Taylor responded. Like, she's tired of people moving mad when she moves with decorum. Totally hear that. But honey, Kayla is a fan. And as a Nigerian woman, I would never, ever let her live it down. I'm obsessed. It's giving Mariah Carey like, oh, you're so obsessed with me. Wow, you really ordered all of those pieces. It's giving Amazon, like it's giving polyester. Like you could not have waterboarded that information out of me. Waterboarded that information out of me.
It takes to dress up as the girlfriend of a man who couldn't even give you the courtesy of a face-to-face breakup. This wasn't giving what Kayla thought it was giving. Instead, it was serving stalker vibes with a side of unresolved bitterness. For many who had been straddling the fence, trying to give Kayla the benefit of the doubt, this was the final straw that sent them tumbling firmly onto Team Teyana. The comments started rolling in like avalanche, with one particularly pointed observation noting, "There's nothing worse than discovering someone's kindness was met with behind-the-scenes shade." Perhaps the most cutting commentary came from those who pointed out Kayla's unfortunate pattern of being the before picture in other celebrities' love stories. The narrative had completely flipped from just weeks ago when people were claiming Travis Kelce had fumbled by letting Kayla go. Now, the consensus was that he might have actually dodged a bullet.